there, everybody, and welcome to episode 55 of the Play to Win podcast. My name is Tyler. I am your host this week, and I am joined as always by my amazing, fantastic, awesome, super fragilistic, co-host. That last one didn't really make sense, but I want to throw in a different flashy, flourishy type word. Keiran, he's here. He's here with us this week. How are you doing, dude? What's going on in the life of Keiran?
Nothing much, just the usual kind of uni work. Played a bunch of one particular game we'll get talking about later on, and all the Bond movies are on Amazon Prime now. So I spent my week mostly watching Bond movies.
Ooh, which ones were you watching?
Oh God! So far I've watched Goldfinger, Tomorrow Never Dies, For Your Eyes Only, and then yesterday and the day before I was watching like all the Daniel Craig ones.
Got it. Okay. Which one did you stop at? Did you stop at the newest one, or did you stop at one of the earlier ones?
So I've watched up till Spectre, so I only have No Time to Die left to go.
Yeah, all right. I haven't seen Spectre yet. I want to watch it. I didn't see it when it came out in theaters. It was one of those where it's like, I'll watch it, and then it's just like, actually, no, you won't. You'll just see it at some other point in time. I think the only Bond movie I've seen in theaters is it? It might be Skyfall. That might be the only Bond movie I have seen in theaters, because I don't believe the first one I saw, or at least the first one I remember seeing, is Die Another Day. But I don't know if I saw that in theaters. I don't think I did, because I forgot when that one came out, and I think I might have been a bit young. I think the age Palace. Yes, Halle Berry 2002. And 2002. I don't think I went to theaters to see that movie, because I would have been 7 at the time. But I mean, I saw Spider-Man in theaters, I'm sure. And I saw The Matrix 2 in theaters, and that came out not long after. But regardless, I think Skyfall might be the only one I've seen in theaters, because I don't think I saw Casino Royale in theaters. Quantum of Solace, I don't think I did either. Skyfall, I'm like 100% positive I saw it in theaters. I really like that one. But the other two I do got to get around to watching.
Yeah, I was practically raised on Bond movies. Like, my dad really likes Bond movies, so I have seen all of them since Die Another Day in theaters.
Nice. Yeah, I wanted to see Spectre so I could see No Time to Die, but time. There's time and access. Yeah. Access to the movie first off, but also just like, I got time to like do it. There's all types of other things in life that I wanted to give my time and attention to, such as, some anime that I've been watching this week, Comey Can't Communicate. It's such a good show. Such a good, wholesome show. Really like it. Really like the art style and animation. It's pretty good over there. And I also was watching Euphoria with my girlfriend this week, because she started watching it this week. I've already watched it. And like generally every Tuesday, her and I, we do like a watch night. So we watch like a movie or a TV show, and like we alternate weeks who picks. So this week was my week, and I said, yeah, we'll do Euphoria. Because at first I was a bit hesitant on doing it again, because I was like, like I just watched the show. It was a bit heavy. And I was like, I kind of need a break from it. Yeah. But I was like, no, like this week we'll do that, because I want to talk to you about the show and certain things from it and all. And I think like season 2 is the harder watch than season 1 is. So I watched the majority of season 1 with her this week. And then I watched the 4th episode of season 2 with her the other day. So probably tonight, if she doesn't finish it before we get talk tonight, we'll probably like continue watching some more. That's how I spent a lot of my week. Didn't play too much. But I did play some stuff. So I'll be able to talk about that later on in the episode.
Next movie night, Spectre, then No Time to Die.
Probably not, because I don't have access to either of those. But I did tell her when she took me to Spicegate and we went to the Bond exhibit that they have there. I think she had told me that she's only seen like one Bond movie, I think, and it might be Die Another Day, I think. But I was telling her like, yeah, the Daniel Craig ones are good. Like, we should watch them. She's like, yeah, sure. So I'm like, we'll do that one day at some point in time, once one of us has access to the movies. we'll watch them.
Yeah.
And it'll be a fun time to watch them all. This is going to be an interesting episode, given, just how the way this is all starting off.
Yeah.
Because, this is Play to Win podcast. Sure, we break down the week's biggest gaming news through in-depth discussion. Subscribe if you're on YouTube or on podcast services as well. If you are on YouTube specifically, make sure to hit that notification bell so you know as soon as videos go live, and you could be one of the first people to watch them and see our beautiful faces, talk about these very interesting topics and these in-depth topics, and just, have a blast here talking video games and all things video game industry and stuff like that. This week, we have a lot to talk about this week. Like some of our main topics, we're going to talk about Amy Hennig returning to the Star Wars universe at long last. We'll be talking a bit about World of Warcraft's Dragonflight expansion that got announced this week. We'll be talking about Halo Infinite's 2022 roadmap, which 343 dropped last night as of recording. It's going to be an interesting discussion around that, probably. And we have more topics aside from that to talk about for our main stories. And that's not even to get to all the brief mentions that we have at the end of this episode. I promise you guys, it's a busy news week. It was just a matter of like, all right, what do I have to cut? What could be put where? Nothing can really be cut. It's a big episode. So without further ado, we're just going to jump right into things by talking about World of Warcraft Dragonflight. This is the 9th expansion for World of Warcraft, and it is set in the Dragon Isles. Keiran, World of Warcraft and Keiran, how do you all mesh? Are you all like peanut butter and jelly? Are you all like good, cool like that? What's the relationship? Are you all like fire and oil, fire and gasoline, where it's just like no. Let's keep these things away from each other. What's going on?
I've tried playing World of Warcraft like a few times actually, and like I've never really gotten past. The last thing I remember doing is going around looking for animals. I think it's been a while since I've played World of Warcraft, but like real early in the game, I just never really got into it.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you know anyone, like any of your friends? Are they like big into World of Warcraft? Are they still into it?
I know one of my streamer friends. Sorry. I know one of my streamer friends used to play it like a lot, and the only reason that she stopped, at least to my knowledge, is that if she didn't, she wouldn't get anything else done.
Do you know how long ago that was?
Couldn't tell you.
Gotcha. Yeah, that seems to be like a lot of I hear a lot of stories from people about that with World of Warcraft. So like I had to stop playing it, taking over my life.
Yeah.
My relationships were suffering, my work was suffering, my health was suffering because I was obsessed with World of Warcraft. And I think about the South Park episode where they were basically all grinded so hard to stop that one guy, and they all got like really overweight, had all types of acne, just like it was so bad. Me, I'm not a World of Warcraft person, never played it, mainly because I never had the opportunity to. PC game, never had a PC like that, so just didn't have the opportunity to. Kind of happy I didn't though, because I don't know if I imagine I might have got like sucked into the time sink of it as well. So don't know if it would have been best for me to get into it. But that being said, I have always thought World of Warcraft, the world of it, was very cool. I've always admired the game from the aspect of like the social aspect, just the impact it's had on the gaming industry as a whole. I've admired that. The cinematics that Blizzard puts out for each of the new expansions, they're always like, top tier, really cool. Some like top tier animation, really great animation stuff that they got going on there, real good CG and everything. So I've always admired it from afar, but never played it myself. So with that being said, we're not going to be talking like when we talk about this expansion here. I'm going to explain what's in the expansion. We're not really going to be giving our thoughts like, this is great, this is awesome, because we don't have the authority on it. But I did want to look at it from like the community angle of it, see what the community of World of Warcraft was thinking. So let's get into just what this new expansion brings to the table. It is offering, like I said, a new area called the Dragon Isles. It raises the level cap to 70 and contains 5 zones, 4 of which can be leveled up in. it introduces a new class called the Drakthir. I hope I pronounced that correctly. In the Drakthir, they can switch between human and dragon forms, as well as be part of either the Horde or the Alliance. And the Drakthir are tied to an exclusive class called the Evoker, which can be used for healing or ranged damage. All players in this with this expansion can ride dragons and customize the dragons. I believe like their appearance and different feat abilities for them and all like that. In addition to all that, the UI, the profession system, and the talent system are all getting overhauls across the board for the game. And it also kind of came out that a console port is not in the plans right now, which, I mean, I don't know if that's a bit shocking at this point in time. That's not happening right now, but it is interesting that they're saying, yeah, it's kind of not, it's not something that we're intending to do, because it came as part of an interview with Rebecca Valentine at IGN, where she kind of asked them like, hey, is this something that you all want to do? And the person she was talking to over at Blizzard kind of said that we got to look at World of Warcraft as a game like made from the ground up for PC. And like that's kind of where our focus is right now. So console port doesn't seem like it's gonna be happening for some time, if it does at all. Do you think that's a loss?
I mean, I don't think so. Like, I think that Blizzard know if they did port it to console, then I would imagine a lot of the WoW community would riot, because it's a PC game, and a lot of I don't want to say a lot of the people who play WoW are like the PC master race people, but like I've heard a lot of horror stories of people like that who play WoW. So I think Blizzard know that, but also like I don't really think they need to. Like, it's doing fine on PC. Don't think they need to. I am a little shocked that like it's not, maybe not that there isn't in the plans, but like they're not even talking about it, considering the whole Xbox acquisition, because Xbox don't have an MMO.
Right, like that's what we talked about when that acquisition was first announced and stuff. Like, oh, they could end up getting it on there, and then I think you would even posit the idea of Game Pass subscribers could get like a month of free access or like something like that. Like, I forgot, we had posited the ways in which Game Pass subscribers could like benefit from it for World of Warcraft and all. And I'm looking here from the article again, and I want to read the exact quote from what's the guy's name here? It is game director Ion, I believe is how you pronounce the first name, Hazakostas for World of Warcraft. When asked about console support for the game, he says, quote, "Nah, I think World of Warcraft is a game designed from the ground up for the PC. I think we've just been looking at the ways in which add-ons have at times felt increasingly required, or like the first thing you do when someone comes to the game for the first time is tell them, hey, go download this add-on pack and move this stuff around. And we want to do better for our players," end quote. So yeah, doesn't seem like it's going to be coming just from a user perspective. It's just like, yeah, the game is built from like design around like the PC experience, mouse and keyboard and all like that, and add-ons and stuff. And if you try to move that over to a console experience, it could just end up being really complex and convoluted, which I can completely understand at all.
And yeah, I mean, the other thing as well is like if the Xbox acquisition does go through, like it's gonna get added to Game Pass regardless, just Game Pass for PC. And then I think the idea that I had posited was like, because obviously you need to pay for WoW like monthly or like semi-annually or something like that. So like if it were added on Game Pass, you wouldn't do that. You would just get it as part of your Game Pass subscription. Right.
Yeah. So we'll see what ends up happening in the future with all that. Other announcements that came with the announcement of the Dragonflight expansion. Wrath of the Lich King is coming to World of Warcraft Classic later this year. And World of Warcraft Classic can continue into the Cataclysm expansion if the community wants it to. Now, I saw this news and I was like, that's huge. That's a big deal. I know people are going to be very happy about that, because although I never played World of Warcraft, I remembered Wrath of the Lich King. Like, I remembered the trailer for it. I remembered the hype and praise and excitement around that expansion. And as I understand, Wrath of the Lich King is considered to be like World of Warcraft at its peak, like at its highest point, at its best. And that is like arguably the most beloved expansion World of Warcraft has ever had. So that getting added to World of Warcraft Classic is really great.
Yeah.
And then Cataclysm, if it gets to that, that'll be cool for people as well. So exciting times over there. And this all sounds like really, really cool stuff, which is what I thought. I mean, outside looking in, it all sounds really cool. So that's why I wanted to go to Reddit. I know Reddit's not the best place to go for people's reactions all the time on things, but it's a place you could go to get like a temperature check of sorts for, for a community's thoughts and reactions to announcements, new content and stuff. And surprisingly, I was like, you all seem pretty positive about this. And as a whole, I didn't check go through pages and pages.
No.
I just went through looked at posts that seemed like they were giving like thoughts and feedback on the expansion. Yeah. And as a whole, the community seems pretty positive on this entire expansion. They're seeming pretty positive about the overhauls for the UI and stuff. Mm-hmm. They're seeming positive about the story, the regions, some of the gameplay stuff. Wrath of the Lich King for World of Warcraft Classic. They're seeming positive about a lot of it, except for one thing. Except for one key thing. The community is seeming torn / a bit negative on the Drakthir. The reason being is because one, the Drakthir are an exclusive class. Well, that race is tied to an exclusive class, the Evoker.
Yeah.
And so you could only be the Evoker if you're a Drakthir. You could only be an Evoker. I mean, you can only be a Drakthir that uses Evoker. You can only be an Evoker if you use a Drakthir.
Yeah.
As opposed to, I'm a human using this, whatever the races are in World of Warcraft. That's part of it. And the other part of it is the appearance of the Drakthir. Now, people, they like the dragon form of the Drakthir. They think the dragon form looks cool. But the human form, they're a bit like, on. They're like, it looks, it's getting a bit into furry realm for us, and they're not too fond of it. I think they all look fine in my eyes. Of course, I'm not a World of Warcraft person. I'm not in that community. So if I played, I'd feel differently. But yeah, it's very surprising that overall across the board, the community seems to only be like feeling not so good about that one thing. And even people in the Reddit post that I saw were commenting like, as of right now, this seems like a really great expansion, except for this one thing.
Yeah.
And when there's only one thing for a lot of us to be negative about, that's pretty good right now. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I hadn't actually seen the Drakthir. I'm looking at them now. I mean, they don't look terrible. I mean, again, like you said, neither of us are World of Warcraft players, so if we actually played the game, we might feel differently. But I don't really have any problem with it. Yeah,
neither do I. My words getting all weird and messed up.
Dragon forms look really cool though.
The dragon forms do look cool. I think everything, and I think it all looks cool. And I forgot looking at some footage and pictures from this, I was like, man, World of Warcraft is such an old game, yet it still looks pretty good. It still looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Even in today's day and age, of course, of course they've done graphical updates and everything over the years and stuff. Of course that's happened, but the core art style still looks great. Art style, art direction, colors and all still looks awesome in this day and age. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the community's reaction once the actual expansion is out and everyone's playing it and all like that. And I'm looking forward to seeing how people react and feel about the expansion in relation to everything going on at Activision Blizzard and what may continue to happen at Activision Blizzard as this year goes on. Because I didn't see any posts about that on Reddit when I was perusing through there. But I do wonder, all right, how much of an impact is that going to have on people come the time that this releases and all? It's going to be an interesting thing to keep an eye on. Just to watch play out and everything like that. But it's happening. It's exciting. Seems cool. Looks cool. World of Warcraft fans, it seems like you guys have a Really, really fun expansion coming your way later on this year. We're going to leave the fantasy realm now, though. We're going to leave the fantasy realm and go to a galaxy far, far away. And we're going to bring a guest with us. Who's that guest? We're bringing Amy Hennig along because she is going back to Star Wars.
For a second, I was like, wait, what do you mean a guest?
Who's the guest? Who's the guest? I didn't tell you that I got Ewan McGregor onto the show for us this week. Obi-Wan himself.
Just pops his head in. Hello there.
Exactly. Hello there. No, we're not that big. We're not big enough to have Ewan McGregor on the show. That would be amazing, though. Oh my God, that would be amazing. It's not him. It's Amy Hennig, nonetheless. She is still a legend in her own right. Mm-hmm. Her and her team at Skydance New Media have announced that they are making a Star Wars game. And it has been confirmed that the game will be, quote, a narrative-driven action-adventure game featuring an original story in the Star Wars galaxy, end quote. Now, for those who may or may not remember, the reason why I said she's returned to Star Wars is because her last attempt at a Star Wars game was with Visceral Games, which is now closed, over at EA, when they were working on a game that was called, at the time, Project Ragtag. And it was kind of conceptualized as a linear Uncharted-esque type of game where you played as a scoundrel and you had your own like team of people and you could play as each member in the team, and whoever you weren't playing as, like the AI controlled them and everything like that. And of course that game fell apart, shut down, canceled, and she left EA, left Visceral, and went off to do her own thing and everything. But now she's getting that second chance. Just off that alone, Keiran, when you read this headline, whenever you saw it, whether it be today or earlier in the week when it was announced, thoughts? What were you thinking? Were you excited? Were you like, okay, cool? What were you thinking?
I mean, I'm a big Star Wars fan, so I'm never gonna say no to more Star Wars content. But I remember Amy Hennig's like last Star Wars game getting shut down, and I'm wondering if Disney were like happy with it, so they decided to give it another shot. Like I don't know how far in development it got, but I don't know. But I am excited. I'm excited to see what this is going to be, especially with the original story part.
Yeah, I remember the Kotaku report at the time that like broke down. It was the Jason Schreier Kotaku expose that gave out the big scoop. Like this was what was going on, and I reread part of it when I was like remembering what was going on with her game and everything. So if anyone wants to read it, by all means, go ahead, check it out. Just type in Star Wars Ragtag Kotaku. I'm sure you'll find the report and everything.
Yeah.
And I didn't read the full one. I didn't reread the full one when I was prepping the doc here for this. But yeah, as I remember correctly, it was that like part of it was Amy kind of being seemingly stretched so thin with the game because of working at Visceral was different from working at Naughty Dog, and how both those teams were set up in terms of like how they developed the games and everything. So that was part of it. Part of it was also EA's desire for, it was at the time where EA wasn't really focusing on single player games. They were focusing more so like, multiplayer games. That's the future and stuff like that. So there were a number of different reasons why Project Ragtag fell apart. But I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this. I'm happy that Amy is getting a second chance at making a Star Wars game, because as we know, she's kind of the mind behind a number of series, most notably Uncharted, and the stories that she told with those games really great. The first three specifically, because those are the ones that she was directly involved with. She wasn't involved with 4, but those were really, really, really great games that told really great stories. So, when we originally had heard about Ragtag and how she was working on a Star Wars game, I was all into it, seeing what she could do in that universe, like this vast universe, being able to tell the story you want to tell without Jedis, without Sith, just a regular old person. Ooh, excuse me, dear Lord. The Sith trying to kill me for saying no Sith were in the game. My God. I'm just speaking facts, okay? No need to try and murder me now. Gosh. But yeah, I was really intrigued. So the fact that she's able to do it again is awesome. And I wonder if she's going to try and revive her idea for ragtag with this new game. Obviously, not cut and paste it all over, but try and do a new game that is very similar to that one, at least in its core concept.
Yeah, and I wouldn't hate it if they did, although I would like them to maybe try a new idea.
Yeah. So you would you not want her to do a game where you're a scoundrel with your team doing heists and everything, or would you want it to be? Would you want it to be that with I mean, because again, that game never came out. So would you want a game like that, or would you want a different premise where you're playing as, I don't know, someone else? Would you want a game where you play as a Jedi? Would you want a game where you play as a Sith? Do you want a game where they aren't involved at all and you are literally just like a bounty hunter maybe, or just some guy on the criminal rung, on the rung of the criminal ladder and everything like that? Like, what would you want?
I would actually really like a game kind of inspired. Did you watch the Book of Boba Fett?
I have not watched it yet, and I need to get around to it.
I would quite like a game set like that where you're like I think it's called a daimyo of like an area on like Tatooine, but like maybe not set on Tatooine, because everything Disney seems to do with Star Wars recently is set in Tatooine.
I feel like maybe that's because of Disney, but also like fans. Star Wars fans are just the worst in the world. Well, all right, that's a bit of a hyperbole. It's a bit of a high exaggeration. Broad statement. What I mean is that Star Wars fans say they want one thing, but then they complain when they get that thing and they want another thing. So like, oh no, we don't want this. We want new places. We get new places. But why isn't this place here?
Yeah.
Where's this place? I want this place again. You get the new place. Well, I don't want this. I want this. It's just like, you always don't know what you want. Star Wars fans are their worst enemies.
Yeah.
That's why we end up with situations like this. We're just like kind of tired of Tatooine.
Getting back to my point, I can't remember where I left off, but I would like a game where you're kind of in trying to work your way up to being like a criminal kingpin in the Star Wars universe. I think that would be really interesting.
Mm-hmm. So I was gonna say like maybe kind of like not Saints Row-y in the sense where like you're building, not like that tone, but like how you're building yourself up. Or I think Mafia might be a better example. I never played the Mafia games, but what I understand of them is kind of like you start off like kind of low, you're building up your own criminal organization. That's kind of how I understand the Mafia games to be. So maybe something like that in terms of like story concept.
Yeah. The easiest way I can describe it, you won't get it, but because you haven't seen the Book of Boba Fett, but like that kind of story style kind of thing.
Okay, interesting. That could be cool, and it'll be different. That's what I think Star Wars really needs, is stories that are very different, because we always get Jedi and Sith stories, and now we're kind of, I don't want to say we're getting a gluttony of bounty hunter stories, but after Mandalorian, everyone's just like, I want Mando stories. I want Mando stories. I want, we always had to think of, I want to play as Boba Fett. I want to play as Jango Fett because it's Star Wars 1313. And it's like, let's get something that's not those, let's play as an actual criminal instead. And that'd be cool. And if we don't have any Jedi or Sith in this, I don't think it would have it, because, allow it to be different from, what's the one? Fallen Order. And the sequel is going to be coming for that. Granted, of course, this isn't connected to any type of way. It's not even under EA, but still, having something that's not Jedi and Sith related would just be a breath of fresh air. Honestly. So I'm on board with your idea.
Yeah, I mean, like I would also like a game where you play as a Sith or like as a Sith apprentice. Because like we like, you also don't really get a lot of those games. You're like usually a Jedi. So
and there was a Darth Maul game that was in the works years ago, but that never saw the light of day.
That's a shame, because I actually think I would have really enjoyed that.
I forgot who was working on it. This was of course under the time when EA was in charge of Star Wars with the license and everything. It was
like around the time of like Force Awakens,
I think. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they had it from 2013 to 2023. They have the 10 years. I forgot, but yeah, I forgot who was supposed to be working on this idea, but there was a Darth Maul
No,
game in the works.
not for Force Awakens is the movie. I meant the what's
Force
the
Unleashed.
Force Unleashed. Thank you.
Oh, that was years before. I was like Wii era. So no, not during that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, talking more modern times from the Darth Maul
Okay.
game. Uh, so yeah, and there's also the fact that this Star Wars game is her team's second big one.
Yeah.
Because they announced last year that they're doing a Marvel game. You know, an original Marvel game. You know, with telling an original story in that universe. So I wonder. You know, I hope that she's not her and her team are being stretched too thin beyond these two big properties right here. We got a Marvel one and a Star Wars one. Like those are big properties there. And I mean, if I could trust anyone to tell a good story in those universes, it would be Amy Hennig. Like I trust her to tell me a fresh new story that I've never seen before in these universes. Tell me something that I get emotionally invested in, characters I care about and all. Like I wholeheartedly trust her with each of these. And I don't believe it'll be anytime soon that we see these games, of course.
No.
But I'm very much looking forward to them whenever it is that they come out.
Yeah, so I was looking up something because this isn't confirmed, but it's a rumor that there is a Mandalorian game in development. I think Xbox.
Maybe I've heard rumors about that. That's been rumored for a hot minute, and I think there was even like I think there was a leaked screenshot of like an in development menu for the game that had a Grogu like in the menu. I don't think I could have this image in my head if it wasn't something I actually saw. I'm pretty sure I saw this thing and it was months ago. But that was something that was in the works, and I think it might still be. I don't remember all the details about it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too just now, but I can't find anything substantial about it.
Oh, and how do you feel about that? A Mandalorian game? Like
I'd love I love the Mandalorian, so I'm all for that.
You see, like I would play it, but again, it goes into what I said about just like, all right, I guess we'll do this. Like it's only happening because Mandalorian is popular. It's not like it's not like a fresh new idea for a Star Wars game. I mean, it's been a while since we had a Star Wars bounty hunter game. You know, back in the last time we had one was the PS2 Xbox era with Star Wars Bounty Hunter, I believe is what it was called, where you play as Jango Fett, I think. Like, it's been a while since there was a bounty hunter game. So in this day and age, yeah, it would be a fresh new idea for a Star Wars game. But for a new Star Wars piece of media, I'm just like, I guess a Mandalorian game is fine. And I think it's also the fact that it's not like it's just a Star Wars bounty hunter game where you're playing as a bounty hunter. It's the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Like that is also just like, I guess, yeah, like I'll play it. But what did it have to be him? Did it have to be this game? It could have been, I don't know, IG-88, the game, or someone else. I'm blanking on the lizard looking bounty hunter guy. I know its name. I'm blanking on the name of it though.
Cad Bane.
That is not the person I'm talking about.
No.
Cad Bane is blue with the red eyes and the cowboy hat. The one I'm talking about looks like a lizard. I'm this is gonna bug me. I need to Google this real quick.
Greedo? Greedo?
No, Greedo is also not lizard looking. Lizard bounty hunter, Star Wars. Bosk. There you go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Greedo looks like a straight up alien. He doesn't look like a lizard at all. You were 2 for 2 right there with completely off base guesses.
Yeah, just nowhere near the actual mark. Yeah.
But interesting, cool stuff. Looking forward to seeing what's going to happen with those games in the future. Now, we're going to stay in space a little bit longer. Different universe in space, though. Gearbox announced a new Tales from the Borderlands game. And it is coming. Well, it's coming this year. and a full reveal is coming this summer. I am excited.
Me too.
And I see you bouncing up and down over there.
I love Tales from the Borderlands so much, and I'm really excited for a new one.
I did not remember that you played Tales from the Borderlands. Either you said it before, I forgot, or you never said it and I didn't know. One of the two.
I did.
I thought I was gonna be the only one like hyped for this right now.
Oh no,
but you're
no,
hyped for it too.
No, I'm there. Like Borderlands, one of my favorite game series of all time. Like absolutely 100% there for this already.
Yeah, Tales from the Borderlands was one of the best Telltale games that company ever made, and I think I don't know if I'd say it's their best. I think it's like their second best, because I still believe Walking Dead season 1 is 100% number 1 in my eyes. Wolf Among Us, I played it, don't remember too much about it, but Tales from the Borderlands was really good. Like so much better than I thought it was going to be. Like the fact that I played it, it was getting teary-eyed over a robot like seemingly dying. I'm just like, no, why? And then the basic, like the freaking Power Rangers Megazord fight at the end of it all was just
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was so cool. I forgot about it until just now, so I just mentioned it. I'm all in on this. Now, the only details that we know are that it's new characters, new adventure, new tales. That's it. And they dropped a piece of key art showing like the portal to a vault and the silhouettes of 3 characters in the in front of it. Now, we don't know, we can't tell who the characters are based off the silhouettes. The one in the middle looks a lot like the robot from Tales of the Borderlands. The you know which robot I'm talking about, not Loaderbot, but the other one that you all had with you on the journey. It looks a lot like that. But it might not be them. But since they're saying it's, new characters at all.
Are you seeing what my camera's doing right now?
I'm not seeing anything in your camera. Your camera's looking just fine to me. Oh, now you're turning blue.
Yeah.
And purple. Now you're back to normal.
I don't know why it's doing that.
That was really weird.
yeah, like it's like going blue and then coming back and then going blue and then I don't know. Anyway,
that's very weird. I don't know. It's the NSA. They're spying.
Yeah,
it's the NSA spying on you through your camera. They're making themselves known. It's very weird. Well, I guess visual listeners, visual watchers, they'll be able to see some cool stuff going on with your camera. I guess you can work that out afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what do you hope from this? I mean, we know basically nothing about it really, but do you have any hopes for this? Because I want to also drop this little bit of information in there as well. Telltale isn't involved in this as of right now.
No.
Like Gearbox is making this with 2K. And that is why I am excited, but I'm also a bit cautiously excited.
Oh, yeah.
Because Telltale was like really responsible. Well, I don't want to say really, but like Telltale was behind Tales of the Borderlands.
Yeah.
Removing them from this equation and it being just Gearbox has me a bit anxious, has me a bit worried. I'm like, okay, I'll be hyped. The brain's gonna be pumped a bit right now, though. I gotta actually see and know more before I get full hype.
Yeah, no, and I'm with you on that because I think Telltale were the people who really made Tales from the Borderlands special. So I'm a little bit skeptical that they aren't involved in this, but I'm cautiously optimistic. The only thing I really want from it is that it's good.
Yes, I want it to be. I just want it to be so great. Like Tales from the Borderlands had such good writing, and it was one of the few Telltale games where I felt like my choices actually had an impact on things. Like there's not many of them make me feel like that. Make me feel like, oh, my decision is gonna actually hold weight. But Tales of the Borderlands, I really felt like, well, all right, this is gonna come back to bite me. This could come back to bite me in some way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it balanced all that with actual emotion and feelings, but also the levity and humor that Borderlands is known for. Like the shootout that happens in episode 4, like that's as much as I want to say about it. But that shootout
so good,
was so awesome. Like, so freaking awesome. I
Oh,
loved it. And it's like the whole time that's happening, I'm just like, are we really doing this right
yeah, I
now?
know, right?
Is this actually happening? What the heck? And
I'm
then
like,
it's done. And it's just like, that was cool.
yeah, like no, like I think it did a really good job of still telling a serious story, but keeping that like Borderlands sort of humor in it.
It's the best Borderlands product to have come out of that franchise. I know you might disagree with me because of
Mm,
how big a Borderlands 2 person you are. I don't care. You are entitled to your opinion.
fair,
Tales from the Borderlands, I think, is the best Borderlands thing ever made. Full stop.
fair. I do not agree with you.
And that is totally fine, because I know
Yeah,
Borderlands 2 is up there in contention with that. I understand it. Depends on who you talk to.
yeah.
But for
Um,
me, it's Tales.
one thing I was going to say is Anthony Birch was one of the writers for Tales of the Borderlands, who wrote Borderlands 2, or was the
Yeah.
lead writer for Borderlands 2. So I don't actually know if he works with Gearbox anymore. So
I mean, he wasn't involved in 3, right?
Hmm?
He wasn't involved in 3, right?
I don't. He either wasn't involved or he wasn't the lead. I know he definitely wasn't the lead writer.
I don't believe he was involved with 3.
Borderlands.
I'm like 99% positive he wasn't involved with it.
No, he was not.
Yep, he wasn't involved with that one at all. And I think I've seen people attribute that at least partially to why Borderlands 3, a lot of people don't really like the story of it or the writing. Depends on who you
Yeah.
ask.
Sorry, I'm looking through his
His credits.
his website just now. He worked on Battleborn.
Well, there's that. Maybe after that one failed, he was like, "Yeah, I'm done with you, Gearbox. I'm out.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm out of here." But new Tales from the Borderlands, I'm looking forward to it. I'm imagining this is gonna be like a Summer Game Fest reveal. Like I bet money that Jeff Keighley got this one in the bag. He said, "Gearbox, you want to announce this on my stage? Thank you very much. I'll gladly take that."
Yeah, yeah. I would agree with you that Summer Games Fest seems like the place this is going to get revealed properly.
Now, I also want to ask real quick: Tales from the Borderlands is canon. Do we think that this new one, will take place after 3, and involve some of 3's characters in it? Because Tales of the Borderlands, you had Zero, you had Athena, you had Zero and Athena, who were already introduced in Borderlands prior to Tales coming out, and Handsome Jack was in it as well. So, do we think that any pre-established characters could possibly appear in this? And if so, who would you want to appear? Also, Claptrap. I forgot about him.
Yeah, everyone forgets about Claptrap.
Either on purpose or by
I like Claptrap, so
I always accidentally forget about him.
I do think that they are going to introduce some characters that are already in the universe. And I would have to assume it's going to be set after 3, because or it might be set in between 2 and 3. I don't know, but in terms of returning characters, I want to see Tiny Tina, but more Borderlands 2 version of Tiny Tina than Borderlands 3, but that might be depending on timelines. I don't know, just surprise. Torg, 100% Torg. I love Torg.
You like Torg? I think if we're gonna get any, I think I would want. I would want maybe
what's her name?
I liked who was it? The Ava. Ava was the new siren that gets introduced.
Exactly who I was just looking up. Yes, her name is Ava.
Yeah, I would like her to be introduced.
Yeah.
Her be in the game. A lot of people hate on Ava. I don't really get why. But I would like Ava to.
Yeah,
I think that'd be cool. Throw a siren in there, and maybe one of the playable characters from 3. Wait, hold on. When I said Ava, by the way, I meant she was the siren that Amaya was teaching.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure you didn't think I was trying to refer to the playable siren in 3.
I can't remember the name.
I can't remember her name. I can't remember her name at all either. It just hit me when I was thinking about playable
Amara.
characters. That sounds correct. Maybe we'll get. Let's see. It was Amara. There was the gunner guy, blanking on his name. There was who had the clones, who could make the clones of himself. Wow, all these Borderlands 3 characters blinking my mind. I'm pulling it up now. Let's see. Setting and characters. Thanks for the help here, Wikipedia.
Zane is
the
operative, Flax the Beastmaster, Amara is the siren, Mose is the gunner.
Yes. So, I want Mose. She was who I played as. Bring Mose in. I loved using her mech. Oh my gosh, so good. So good.
I've actually only ever played as Flak. I think I've actually only ever done one run through Borderlands 3, and I played as Flak.
I was torn between Mose and Zane, but I was like, nah, Mose just sounds so much more cool. She sounds so much more cool and fun. Exciting times. We'll have to wait a few months to find out more details about this new test of the Borderlands game, but we're looking forward to it right now. Right now, we are excited and very eager to learn more about it. Now, this one story here, the next one, we're going to talk about Halo Infinite. This is something where I was like, you know what, Keiran, I'm not going to tell you anything about it because Keiran knows nothing about the Halo Infinite 2022 roadmap.
Haven't seen it.
And I told him, don't look into it at all before we get to it because I want to get his raw reaction. But tell you right now, Keiran, no one's happy.
I would have assumed
no one's happy. So they dropped the roadmap. They said, I'm going to read here a bit from the blog post on Halo Waypoint. Joseph Staten wrote this, by the way. Okay. Hello, everyone. With Season 2 locked and loaded for May 3rd, we want to share a roadmap of what we're planning to deliver during Season 2 and for the rest of the year. More than anything else, we want this roadmap to be accurate and reliable. Some items and dates are certain, and these are clearly listed. Others are marked as targets or goals, and they will become more certain over time. The roadmap's time frame will also expand as we announce longer-term initiatives. In other words, this roadmap is an evolving document and will let you know when we make changes to it. With all that in mind, here's the Halo Infinite roadmap for 2022. Lone Wolves Season 2 starts on May 3rd and ends on November 7th. Yes, it is another 6-month season. It is adding 2 maps, Catalyst, an arena map, and Breaker, a big team battle map. As of right now on this roadmap here, we have 3 new game modes, King of the Hill, Land Grab, and Last Spartan Standing. There have been other leaked game modes that have leaked online and everything in databases and stuff. So whether or not they'll be added as well in Season 2, who knows? There is going to be a new 100 tier battle pass with a free armor core and earnable credits. There's going to be a new Fracture event called Entrenched, with the first week of it starting May 24th to May 30th. Online campaign co-op is targeted for a late August release. Targeted. Campaign mission replaying is targeted for late August. Forge open beta is targeted for September. Quality of life improvements will be happening throughout, and there will be narrative events happening as well. Interference happens May 3rd to May 16th, and then Alpha Pack happens from July 19th to August 1st. Season 3, that's just Season 2 right there, okay?
Okay.
Season 3 starts November 8th. All they're saying right now about Season 3, new 100 tier battle pass, new maps, modes, new sandbox items, new narrative events, a new Fracture event, Forge open beta, quality of life improvements, campaign, split screen co-op at some point in season 3. People are not happy.
Am I all right to open this link now?
You are okay to open the link now. Yes.
Okay.
Now you can open it.
Well, I can tell why no one's happy. Like, okay, I'm sorry. You launch your game on December 10th.
8th, I think was the date.
8th
or 10th, around there.
Sorry, I was thinking of Cyberpunk. Yeah, you launched your game on December 8th.
Multiplayer went live a month before that, November 15th.
Okay, oh, actually, yeah, fair point. Okay.
Oh, so, as they said, quote unquote, in an open beta, but it was basically the full game.
Yeah, exactly. Anywho, you released 2 new maps in
6 months after it released.
Yeah.
And those are the only 2 maps that we are seemingly getting for a full year.
No. Like, I'm sorry, like, you try and tout Halo Infinite as like, oh, we're not going to make any more Halo games after this. It's going to be an evolving game, blah, blah, blah. And you released 2 maps in a year? Who at 343 is making these decisions? Because honestly, I'd fire them.
That might be, I don't know if I'd say fire. That might be a bit harsh.
I would put someone else in charge. Put it that way.
Yeah. Yes. I think that's a better thing to say as opposed to fire them on the spot.
But yeah.
No, you're 100%. You're 100% valid to feel like this. If you go to the Halo Twitter post where they announced this, the replies are filled with people just like, it's no,
yeah.
This is not it at all. It's just like, wow, a lot of disappointment, a lot of anger. You go to the Halo Reddit page. I perused it a bit last night. I didn't really dig through it, but people are just not happy. They're not pleased with this. Because it's another 6-month season. 6 months.
Yeah, that as well is like a season in COD is what, 3 months?
About that long. I think it's about that long. And
I think they do like 4 a year. Maybe.
Most of these live service games that do seasons, generally like 3 months or so. Fortnite tends to be 3 months. They might extend it like a week or 2, maybe, depending on like what plans are. But generally they're about 3 months or so. That way you get a couple seasons per year. But it's another 6-month season after season 1 was already made 6 months. I don't think it was always planned to be, but they kind of like say, we're going to make it 6 months so we have time to do things and whatnot.
Yeah.
And we were all under the assumption when they said co-op in season 2, Forge in season 3, we're thinking, oh, okay, so Forge should be here by like August, September. Cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Fantastic.
Sorry, I want to chime in real quick.
Go ahead.
And not a Forge open beta. The full version of Forge.
Well, here's the thing. Joseph Staten talks about this in here, and I want to read a bit more from the Halo Waypoint blog post, okay? So I'm going to keep going on from the last point I was at. He says, this roadmap reflects the same studio priorities that we shared back in March, addressing issues negatively impacting player experience, completing Season 2 and delivering it as promised on May 3rd, continuing work on campaign co-op, Forge, and Season 3. Those are the same studio priorities that they shared back in March. Okay. So this roadmap reflects those same studio priorities with a priority 0 of team health and getting ourselves into a sustainable development rhythm so that we can deliver great experiences to all of you while maintaining a healthy work-life balance.
Fair.
We know we need to deliver more content and more features more quickly. Staying true to priority 0 means that sometimes we need to slow down in order to stay healthy and move faster later. But we're also aggressively looking at ways to accelerate. For example, we want to get the Forge toolset into your hands sooner rather than later, so that awesome community maps and modes can more rapidly make their way into the game. To make this happen, we're targeting a Forge open beta later in Season 2. We've successfully had Forge in private flighting with a limited audience for some time, so we've decided to forego a large-scale formal flighting program and go right to open beta. With this approach, we can get the core Forge tools out to everyone quicker while also remaining focused on our core priority of continuing to improve foundational aspects of Halo Infinite. Forge will persist from the open beta onwards, evolving and growing over time.
Okay. That makes me feel a little better about it, but
yeah, it does.
Yeah, like I 100% understand that like they want to make sure their team is happy and healthy and they don't want to overwork them, and like content takes time to make and deliver, right? I understand that. But at the same time, you need to add more content into your game more frequently. Like if you look at Fortnite, Call of Duty, anyone else who has a live service game, there is new content in those games every 3 months at like a max when a new season drops. So
and like the new content that's there, it seems like it's typically more substantial. It's more substantial, more impactful than what is here. And those games also launch with a good amount of content too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's like, as much as I want it to be good content, you need to get better at releasing good content more frequently and with more substance than just, yeah, we're going to give you 2 new maps in a year, a few new modes, no new weapons. You know, we're going to not include co-op in our game for at least 7-8 months. No, 6 months, sorry.
Yeah, well, they're saying late August target. So yeah, about 8 months. And that they're targeting August. Yeah. So who knows if it actually hits August.
Yeah. So like, see, I think now that I don't think they should have said August, because now that they've said August, if it's not in August, people are going to riot.
No, I think that they needed to put a month on it, because if they just said some point in season 2, people would have been more upset and would have been like, so it could be as late as beginning of November. It could be as late as like November 6th or October. Who knows how long we're waiting. And again, they said, that's why they said here, the things that are labeled as target are things we are aiming for, but it's not the definite. Yeah. It's not 100%. So by saying we're aiming for this point in time, but it might not hit then, it gives them that wiggle room. It gives people the comfort of, okay, hopefully it should be out by then, but if it's not, it was not promised to be on this at the specific time frame.
I suppose. Yeah, although I mean, you know, there's going to be people who are like, no, you said August, we want it in August.
Oh, of course, for sure.
But I understand why people are not happy with it. I'm not happy with it. They need to get better at delivering more content for that game, otherwise it is going to die.
No, it definitely it is so disappointing. Like when I saw that, I was just like, ooh, I was like, ooh, yikes, that is not good. Like 6 months again, only these 2 maps, like not much substantial coming to the game over the course of 6 months, having to wait this long for co-op and then for Forge. And I like that they are doing an open beta. And like when they said the open beta is like, yeah, we're just going to be putting everything out there for Forge as an open beta, and we'll evolve it over time. That way it's at least out there for people to start working with, and not like in just flighting test phase anymore with a small group of people. Like doing it like this is the best way to go about getting Forge out to people as quick as possible, which is a good thing. And I applaud them on that. But everything else, it's just disappointing, really. It's because we all say this. It is a great game to play, but it just gets old fast because of just the lack of meaningful content there. Playing the same 7 maps for Arena over and over again, 7, 8, however many it is, the same 3 big team battle maps over and over and over for the past 6 months. Like that gets old. Yeah. And we're only adding 1 map to each of those pools. So now it's 8 arena maps and 4 big team battle maps. It's how much is that really going to change things? How much is that actually going to change the game? It's not going to do much of anything at all.
Yeah, and the other thing as well is like there are going to be people who never play big team battle or exclusively play big team battle, so they're getting one map in 6 months.
Yeah, it's It is disappointing, and I've seen a lot of people online say that 343 clearly was not ready, was not prepared for
Yeah.
live service for Halo. And I've also seen people bring up the fact that 343, they have a lot of contractors and stuff. And once the end of their contract is done, they're out, and you got to bring in new people and then got to get them up to speed on the game and the engine and getting stuff going and everything, which plays into why it's taken so long for new stuff to come to the game, which are all understandable factors, but it doesn't change the fact that Halo Infinite is, I don't want to say like in life support mode, but like it's in a not good state for a game that should be in a much better state.
Yeah.
It being Halo Infinite, the return of this franchise, a game that plays so well. It is so great in so many ways.
Exactly.
It should be in a much better state. And again, this also being Halo Infinite, the return of Halo, Microsoft's flagship franchise. They should be making it a priority that it's in the best state that it could be in. So the fact that it's not is it's really just a shame. I just want to read a little bit more here from the blog post from Joseph Staten. He says here, as we continue to improve and ramp up, please understand that all of us at 343 are fully committed to making Halo Infinite the best Halo experience ever. Indeed, the primary reason that we're extending season 2 is to give us time before shipping another season to fully address quality of life improvements based on learnings from season 1, as well as other data and feedback we've collected. Quality of life is shorthand for bugs, new features, and/or content to address issues negatively impacting player experience. We'll be delivering quality of life improvements as part of season releases and as separate updates during seasons. Our player-facing term for quality of life updates that land during seasons is drop pods. And much like their ODST namesakes, these release vehicles are meant to drop in hot just as soon as they are ready. Our target is 1 drop pod per every month, and you can expect drop pods to vary in scope and size. We'll have more to share about what's going into Season 2's drop pods as soon as possible after Season 2 launch. Skip ahead a bit because he's like, hey, guess what? Remember, it's coming soon. Season 2, yeah. And they'll be on Wednesday, April 27th, so coming up. They're going to be doing a deep dive into the Battle Pass for Season 2, including the rewards, the events, and the new multiplayer narrative events that Joseph Staten here says places your personal Spartan in the center of an evolving seasonal storyline. So that'll be interesting. I wonder what how impactful those are going to be. The live stream is Wednesday, April 27th at 1 p.m. Pacific time on Twitch and YouTube. Yes, I am looking forward to whatever these narrative events end up being, because we haven't had those yet in the game. So I'm curious to see what these are, what these will entail. Like, is this going to lead to like changes on some of the maps? Is it going to be like, oh, here's a special playlist, and in this playlist you're working with people online to fight against Banished or what have you? Like, what are these narrative events? Like, are we going to be fighting Banished on multiplayer maps with other people? That could be cool. It could be interesting. It could be unique. Well, of course, we'll have to wait and find out until next week. But I'm looking forward to it, and I'm happy that one of them is at the very start of the season, May 3rd to the 16th. That way, as soon as the season starts, bam, you could jump right into this narrative event and see what it's all about in addition to the new map. So it's dire times. It's dire times for Halo Infinite. I haven't played the game in about like 2-ish months or so.
Same.
So I never finished the battle pass. I got to like 60, I think, maybe around there, 50, so 60.
Than I did.
Yeah. Part of that's because I was playing a bunch for the review and everything, so I was just like going real ham in it and everything. But yeah, I wish the game was in a better state. And this season 2 roadmap, it doesn't really inspire much confidence.
No, it does not.
You know what else doesn't inspire much confidence, but I'm hoping is not, as bad as it seems on face?
I have a feeling you're going to tell me.
Yeah, it is in-game ads for both PlayStation and Xbox. This was we had it as a brief mention, I believe, last week for Xbox, that they were considering having in-game ads in free-to-play games. This week, PlayStation entered the ring. They entered the arena, and they haven't officially said this, but they are seemingly considering programs that allow companies to implement ads into free-to-play games by the end of the year, just like Xbox. So I was like, one's a party, two's a party, three's a crowd. But that's I was trying to make that analogy here. I messed up the numbers in my head. One of them is doing it. Okay, we just leave it as a brief mention. Both of them are doing it. All right, now it has to be a main story.
Yeah.
Now we got to make this a main story here. So the plan is for both of these companies, really. Well, the plan that both these companies really has, I got this from the PlayStation article, but their plans for both PlayStation and Xbox are basically the same. I note the differences later on in the bullet points I have here. The plan is for ads to fit in-game through things such as like billboards, right? So you're playing like FIFA, you could see a billboard for iPhone 14. I'm just pulling out an example, right? Players could be potentially rewarded for watching ads with in-game items such as skins, for your characters or whatever.
Yeah.
Both companies, PlayStation and Xbox, they want developers to be able to make more money from their games, which is why they're considering these types of programs. Microsoft isn't planning to take a share of profits from the ads. Sony still on the fence about it. Sony's still not decided if they're going to take their own share of profits. But the other commonality that both companies have is player privacy. They're both concerned about that in regards to these ad companies and all. Sony is not considering any companies that will be taking personal information from players, such as email addresses, names, that type of stuff. Microsoft does not plan to let advertisers use data that the company itself, that Microsoft itself, has collected through Bing or other sites and software. Keiran, ads in free-to-play games on console. Are you, after hearing this breakdown of what the plans could be like, what are you thinking? Because for me, when you first hear that they're planning to have in-game ads, it's just like, oh no, what do you mean? Why?
Yeah.
You read into it though, and you hear it seems like it's just gonna be, here's a billboard, here's a like a little sign in the background as you're driving down the road, maybe in a game or whatnot. It doesn't seem like it'll be intrusive in any type of way. Might it be a bit distracting in a sense? Potentially. It might be distracting, playing Apex and then you are like sliding down right next to a Burger King sign. Just have it your way as you pop someone from a distance. Like, that might be a bit distracting, might be a bit funny.
Yeah, maybe.
But what do you think? What do you think of their plans that they have right here?
I mean, I don't hate it. Like, as long as it's not too intrusive into my gaming experience, then I'm fine with it. Because like when we talked about it last week as a brief mention, I thought it was going to be like, you're playing a game and then like in between, say like a game in Apex while you're waiting to find another game, it would like come up with a YouTube ad, like it'll play you a video of whatever. But like in game and like a billboard in the background or a sign or a banner, or like you could even have like somebody talk about like Burger King in like Apex or so. I don't know, but like as long as
you want a Whopper, get 5 headshots this next match. Get a free Whopper.
That would be cool. Get 5 headshots. Get like a free thing of like fries.
Whopper.
Like free thing of fries at Burger King or something. That would be cool. But like as long as if they do have like a big billboard in the background with an ad on it, as long as it doesn't like pan up to the billboard and like have me watch a 30-second ad, then let me continue playing. I'm kind of fine with it.
Yeah, the end game, you said the in between matches, like, oh, here's an ad. I mean, maybe that is something that could be
maybe
possibly a plan, because it says here, that players could be rewarded for watching ads.
Yeah.
So that could be one way to have people watch the ad. You're in between matches, and it might pop up on the screen like, hey, watch this ad and get like 100 credits, 100 V-Bucks or whatever,
V-Bucks.
here you go. Here's 100 V-Bucks for watching this ad. It only takes 30 seconds and it's in between games anyway. Why not? Might as well. Like, that could be a thing that they do. And Microsoft, in the article that I actually had about Microsoft specifically last week, said that Microsoft was a bit concerned about the backlash because console players, they're not used to this thing. This is more of a mobile game type of thing where you get ads in your games and all like that. Console players, there's going to be like, the heck is this? You know, and I paid like what? And it's like, and if this was in game premium full price games, this would not fly. The fact that it's in free to play games is what makes this palatable and acceptable. Is just that because it's going to be happening on console is why the backlash concern is there. It's like, this is a phone thing, not a sit down in front of my TV type thing. Why is this happening?
Yeah, I mean, like all of the mobile games that I have, like, because you'll be like scrolling through Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or something, and it'll pop up with like a game clip or something, and like I'm usually like scrolling through one of those sites when I'm bored, so I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll give it a go. Why not? And then I'll play it for like literally 15 seconds, and it'll pop up with an ad, and I'm like, nah, I'm done. Okay, bye.
I'm out.
Yeah, so like, as long as they don't make it like that, where like it's every like 15 seconds or like every like, so just like as an example, I remember I was playing a game where like you had to like get a ball to a like the end of like a course or something, and then at the end of every course it would play an ad before you could proceed. So like, as long as it's not like that, then I'm kind of fine with it. But like, please don't make it like a mobile game where it's just like it feels like my phone is infested with adverts.
Oh yeah, I would imagine that's not going to be the case at all. Like, and at the end of the day, that would come down to the developers. Once this program actually comes into play, like the developers, like, all right, come on, advertisers. You could already bet. I bet money Epic would be like, everyone's going for Fortnite. Like, hey, Fortnite. We won't put ads in your game. We'll put ads in your game.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be so weird seeing Naruto and Alien from Alien, Rick and Morty, and Superman out here just doing all types of TikTok dances and shooting at each other in front of a sign for the next Star Wars movie. Like, this is, I joke, but like, this is the metaverse. It's the metaverse play right here. We're getting closer and closer to the metaverse each and every single day. Yeah, things like this are just going to be part and parcel for it.
Like, something popped into my head when like you get a victory in Fortnite and like you're playing as I don't know, like we'll say Naruto or something. Naruto just turns to the camera and is like, you know what I use after a sweaty game of Fortnite with a victory? Old Spice.
Oh no. Old
and then
Spice.
It just ends with like
freshen you up after the sweatiest of matches. Have Terry Crews just pop in.
Yeah. Oh man. Terry Crews kicking his way through the billboard in the background.
I forgot. I missed those commercials. Those are good commercials right there.
I love those.
All right, Keiran. I think that's about that is, a good way to wrap up our main news stories. So
blue.
You're still blue. You're blue with sadness because we're done with all the main stories. That's why.
Exactly.
But we're gonna move on to all of our brief mentions, which, man, like I said, jam-packed week. You're gonna see what I mean in a minute. Because all these like brief mentions, like, wow, noteworthy thing here. I'm gonna try to rattle right on through them. Marvel's Avengers is gonna be getting Jane Foster's Mighty Thor at some point in the future with the Future 2.5 update, whenever that releases. This announcement came the day after the trailer for Thor Love and Thunder dropped, which again revealed, hey, Natalie Portman returning as Jane Foster with the Mighty Thor. Movie looks cool. Looking forward to it. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 got announced to be bumped up from its September release to July 29th, which was just like, whoa, that's crazy. And immediately when that happened, I was like, man, well, I guess that's the Splatoon change dates. 2 days later, Splatoon 3 is releasing on September 9th. So they essentially just swapped places.
Yep.
And it's funny because when Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was first announced, people were saying that the game's been done for a while. Like, the game was first leaked like last year by Imran Khan over at Fanbyte. And there have been people saying like, yeah, the game's basically done. It's just a matter of like Nintendo waiting for it to like just waiting for the time to release it. And yeah, this kind of confirmed it for a lot of people. Like Nintendo apparently sits on games that are done and just waits to sit around, waits to release them. That happened with Pikmin 3 Deluxe. There have been rumors that that's the case. That's with Metroid Prime, like HD remasters and stuff. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, apparently it's been done a while. And that's why they're able to just move it from September to July the way that they have, because it's done and just ready to get out the door. So that is cool. Nintendo fans are going to be feasting for days. I won't be playing Xenoblade, but I do want to play Splatoon. So hopefully I'll get around to it when it comes out September 9th. Destiny 2 apparently has an Easter egg for Bungie's next game. Has not been found yet, though. So players, go hunting. Destiny, it's kind of rumored that it might be on the moon. Because the Bungie person that said, yes, there is an Easter egg, kind of put like the moon looking emoji face. So people thinking it might be on the moon there. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga is the biggest Lego game launch ever, selling 3.2 million units worldwide in its first 2 weeks. Yes, give them their praise, give them their claps, give them their flowers. My girlfriend likes the game. She's been enjoying it so far. I think she hasn't played it that much, but I think she finished episode 1. I think she's on episode 2.
Okay.
I don't remember, but she was enjoying it. We got the announced dates for when the PlayStation Plus revamp is going to be starting. It'll be happening in Asian territories, excluding Japan, on May 23rd. Japan starts June 1st. The Americas, June 13th. Europe, June 22nd. And they are also expanding cloud streaming to a number of new regions for a total of 30. I do not have them listed here, but go check out the PlayStation blog for all those full details. Looking forward to this. Assassin's Creed Origins is coming to Game Pass via the Ubisoft Connect app, and there's nothing else noteworthy to say about Game Pass for the month of April. Yes, Karen.
For Honor is also being added.
I think For Honor is already on there, but it's like an upgraded version that's coming to PC, and like console players are getting the upgraded version of it. Yeah, so really a kind of a slowish month for Game Pass right there.
Yeah.
Activision and Blizzard haven't talked with Microsoft about Bobby Kotick's role post-acquisition, apparently, which is interesting. But where things get even worse with Activision Blizzard is that apparently a Facebook executive intervened in the Activision Blizzard controversy revolving Bobby Kotick. It's just wild how things get deeper and deeper and deeper. Yep. And how people just continue to show that they're just fools. How, like, why and how? The Facebook story, if you want to learn more about it, check out Kotaku. That's where I saw the reports. I don't know if they get sourced it from somewhere else. I forgot, but I saw it on Kotaku, so you can check it out there. Sonic had a nice week this week with Sonic Origins getting announced. It is a remastered collection containing Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and Sonic CD, and it's coming to all platforms for $40. There's a pre-order chart that people have been making jokes and stuff about, but seems cool. Seems like it'll be fun. According to Bloomberg, the Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio franchises are reportedly going to be getting big budget reboots as part of Sega's Super Game initiative. This Super Game. Trying to make this happen.
Yeah. I never played Jet Set Radio, but I played a little bit of Crazy Taxi.
As did I. I liked what I played a bit.
Yeah.
Got some gaming movie news here going on. 3 different stories. Number 1, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, is producing the It Takes Two movie, and he might star in it as well. Jason Momoa is in talks to star in the live-action Minecraft movie. And a Streets of Rage film is in development with John Wick creator Derek Kolstad writing the script. Gaming is just moving to the movie space. Jason Momoa in a Minecraft movie is
oh my god.
That's the one that gets me the most.
I love the idea of Jason Momoa as Steve.
I don't think he'd be Steve. I think he'd just be himself. He'd either be himself or like a Minecraft character that just looks like it. It's gonna be weird. It will be very.
Yeah. The one thing you can be absolutely sure that this will be is weird.
Whenever it happens. Outriders had a reveal stream this week for the new, I don't know if it's an update or expansion that they're calling it, but it's called World Slayer. It's coming June 30th. I saw the reveal trailer. I meant to watch like the stream where they talk about it in more detail. I just didn't get a chance to watch it this week. Watching the trailer, that reminded me of one thing, or made one thing more clear to me than I ever did before, is that Outriders looks very much like Destiny.
Yeah,
like,
a little bit.
You watch this trailer and like some of the shots in it are like shots you'd see in a Destiny trailer. It's just like, wow, okay, yeah, looks straight up like Destiny here. Alrighty then. Battlefield 2042 finally got in-game voice chat and an in-game scoreboard. Finally. It only took them a couple months, 5 months, I think, is the time on that. Crazy. A list of Game Boy Advance games being tested for Switch emulation has seemingly leaked online, which is leading people to believe that Game Boy Advance and possibly Game Boy games will be coming to Switch Online at some point in the future. It's just a matter of the when. It's an interesting list of games that they have there that are being tested. So if you're interested in that, keep an eye out on it. Keep your eyes peeled. Bit more not so good Nintendo news. A Nintendo worker has filed a complaint to the National Labor Relations Board, a Nintendo of America worker specifically. Axios broke that story, and then Kotaku put out their own report on Nintendo of America contractors and like their working conditions and all. I've read both pieces there. They're not main stories this week because they're a bit in the weeds, and also I don't know how much we'd be able to contribute to these stories, of like how much of note we'd be able to contribute to these stories, but they are important stories. So by all means, give them both a read, especially the Kotaku report gets a bit more in detail with multiple different contractors at Nintendo of America that they talk to. But again, just the industry, just please treat your people better. No matter what company, all companies need to treat their workers better. More controversy type news. A U.S. federal judge has dismissed a majority of a gender discrimination lawsuit against PlayStation by former employee Emma Major. 10 of her 13 claims were dismissed, but she can amend the claims to try again with more proof or evidence to back up her case. We kind of had this as a brief mention in the past before, but just an update on that story right there. And last thing that happened this week, there was a meta gaming showcase for VR. And I didn't watch it, but some of the highlights from it, Ghostbusters VR, Among Us VR, which looks so weird, Bone Labs, which I'm very interested in, and Moss Book 2 is coming. I have to see if the first Moss is on the Quest, because if it is, I want to get it so I can play it, and then I'll play Book 2. Oh man, I actually also have to see about getting something to make my Quest stay on my head, because as I told you before, I don't play it too much, because when I play for more than 20 minutes, it starts falling down. So gotta look into that. But those are all of our brief mentions for this week. As I said, a jam-packed week full of so many different stories right there. It's crazy. What are you looking at?
Moss is available on the Quest.
Here we go. I've heard all the praise about the first one. Heard so much praise about it. I want to play it so I can play the second one, because I've heard the second one is also pretty good too. So maybe at some point in time I'll get around to doing it. I got to figure out what I can do about that. It's all our news this week, though. It's a lot of news, a lot of stories to talk about. We're going to get into what we've been playing this week. I'll go first. I really don't have much to say. I don't want to, and I feel like you have more to say about what you played than I did. So, quick updates. Demon Souls, really didn't play much. Have not beat the Tower Knight. Played for maybe 2 hours, and I was just like, all right, I'm getting annoyed. Just trying to get to him. Like, it's easy to get to him, but just like things weren't working the way I wanted them to. Crosscode, played a bit of that this week. I'm still enjoying it. I really dug into Scarlet Nexus. I've played about 6-ish hours of the game. I believe I am at the end of chapter 3 or chapter 4, one of the two. Not gonna lie, the story was losing me for a bit until the end of chapter 2. Like, I was playing and I was just like, story, you're not really hitting me the way I want you to. You're not really hitting at all. And then the end of chapter 2, stuff starts popping off, and it's just like, ooh, okay, here we go. I'm liking where we're going with this, getting interested, getting more intrigued. I still cannot get over the fact that the enemies in this game are called others. It is the most anime and JRPG thing ever, in that it is so ridiculous that you laugh at it, but you still take it seriously because it just is what it is. It is so funny. Like, oh, a major other is over there. Let's go kill it. Guys, who let the others in here? Who let the others into the city? Why are there so many others here? It's just like, you hear the dialogue whenever they say it, just like, oh my God, these things are actually called others. But you take it seriously. Like, you take it seriously at the same time. It is absolutely funny. But I'm enjoying the game. I'm
Nice.
doing my run right now as Yuito. I'm going to do Kasane
Okay.
second. So I'm seeing things from his side of the story and all. It's interesting. It's intriguing. It's cool. Gameplay is fun, just like it was when I played the demo. So
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. I plan to play some more of it this weekend. Probably bounce between that and Demon Souls this weekend, but I'll probably give more of my attention to Scarlet Nexus so I can try and finish that game soon-ish. But that's really all I've been playing this week. Like I said, I've spent more time this week watching Euphoria with my girlfriend. So that was the week. And I also saw a Fantastic Beasts, a new one last night. So didn't have time to play it all last night. But Keiran, you've been playing Final Fantasy VII Remake again.
Yep.
It's been a while since you talked about it. What's going on?
Okay.
How's your journey in Midgar?
Okay. I still love the game. Did you see my tweet?
I think I did.
The one that like in all capital letters, yeah.
You're just like, yeah.
Yeah.
I meant to reply to it, but I meant to reply to it, but I think I was getting off the train and I just forgot to.
Fair enough. Yeah, words I shan't repeat on the podcast. But
he was angry.
Yeah.
People can imagine why. If you've played the game, you can probably guess where he's at or what he did.
Okay, so from where I last left off, I was turning off lamps. To get this.
The plates.
Yeah. That's where I left off. I think I've played around 15 hours since then. Because that's all I've played this week. So I'm still loving this game. I'm still loving the music for this game, especially. Like
beautiful.
Battle music, top tier. One thing I am not loving, not loving is probably too strong, but certain elements I am not loving is combat in this game. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm loving the combat with like smaller enemies, but when it comes to like a boss, it gets a little challenging. I really like the ghost fight, like the ghost boss.
Oh yeah, that was
in
a
the
good
train
one.
graveyard.
Oh wait a minute. So you must have left off not too long after that, because
yes, I have.
Okay, because the thing that you were mad about happens before that.
Oh yeah. I've played a bunch since then.
Got it. Okay.
Like if you want to know where I left off, I am fighting Reno and Rude.
Oh, you stopped there? Why didn't you just finish that whole section?
I stopped there because I can't get past that fight. I've died 3 times already. Okay.
Interesting. I don't remember the fight. It's not that difficult. As far as I remember, it's not that difficult because with the game, the boss fights, I don't know if you've caught on to it, but the enemies aggro to whoever you're controlling.
Yes, they do.
So, and it's funny, I didn't realize it's till like the end of the game on the final boss fight. I was like, oh, that's how you all do this. Got it. It took me a while to really pick up on it. But that boss fight, I think, who did I focus on more? I think I might have focused on Reno more.
That's what I've been trying to do.
Yeah, because you have it's Cloud, Tifa, and Barrett with you for that fight. So, I forgot my material was set up like, but I think when I played, I had Barrett would have healing magic. No, everyone had healing magic, but Barrett, I made sure that like he was kind of my go-to healer. If like, all right, he could heal from a distance or give people defense from a distance and all like that. So I think you should maybe try boosting the stagger up as much as possible with Tifa. And then like if her health is getting low or someone's health is getting low, switch over to Barrett if you have him with healing, or switch over to someone else who has healing and then have them heal the person whose health is low. I would say Barrett because Barrett can boost this thing up pretty quickly with his gun. And then whoever you're fighting should aggro towards Barrett, most likely. I think it's tougher when there's 2 people in the fight. I don't remember if both of them will aggro to you or just one of them. But I would say try using Tifa to boost up that stagger meter as much as possible really quickly because she, that's her thing. She gets some damage real quick. And then once it's up, maybe switch to Cloud to get in with heavier damage, or maybe even keep using Tifa and to boost the stagger up even more, like higher as high as you can, and then switch to someone else to deal like heavier damage. Maybe try doing that. It's been a while since I did that fight, but I didn't remember it giving me much trouble.
Yeah, I've only really tried it one way so far, right? So I need to go and adjust a few things. But I had Aerith set up as my healer, so
What you should do is always have Cloud with a heal.
oh
Always
yeah,
give
yeah, yeah.
Cloud.
Cloud. I think I have the cure materia set up, but I have it up leveled up a few times.
Yeah, I was always Cloud always had a healing materia because he's always in the party. And I
Yeah,
always made sure at least one other person in my party had a healing materia. And I think that person was Barrett. Barrett or Aerith. I never had it with Tifa because Tifa can heal herself. She
yeah,
has an ability that allows her to heal herself, so I never gave her it. But Aerith always had it, and Barrett always had it as well because he's your tank type of person. He can take a lot of damage. He can boost up his ATB pretty quickly and all. So you should always also give him a heal.
yeah. I do want to talk about one of my favorite moments from any video game ever, and it's what I was watching before we started. That dance sequence in the Honeybee Inn was
Oh
so
my
much
god.
fun to do.
It's
Like,
so cool. It's
like
so good.
when I first started, I'm like, oh, really, a dancing mini game? Like I'm like a super badass soldier. Why am I doing this? But then as soon as it started, I'm like, I am so here for this. I replayed
You were
it.
there like Aerith. You're like, yeah,
Yeah,
let's go.
I was like, oh, like this is so much fun. Like it honestly kind of like brought up the mood like of the game a bit because like it's usually like super like not dark and serious, but like very serious and
It's
like
a bit
there's not a
dour.
whole lot. Yeah, so like
Bit grim.
yeah, grim is a very appropriate word, but
Shoot, it's about to be more grim.
interesting. But yeah, I love that dance sequence so much. Like it's so much fun. It's a lot of fun. Like I need to see if I can find the song on my phone because I want to add it to my playlist.
Yeah. Tell me about the boss fight.
Oh, Hell House.
Yeah.
Why does that thing take no damage whatsoever from me hitting it? Like
It's
or
crazy. I
it's
remember
very low.
nothing about that boss fight. And whenever I see people say it was so difficult, I'm like, was it? I don't remember much about it. I don't remember it being super hard or super easy because I just don't remember anything about that fight. I remember it being tough, but I don't remember being stuck on it.
No, like I wasn't stuck on it because I beat it first try, but like it took me like
Nice.
45 minutes.
God damn. I don't think
Like
it took me that long now.
like it was a combination of like I'm very much of a like go to Cloud, go in Punisher mode, slice everything. Right. That's
Yeah.
usually how I am in combat. Use a few steps if I
Oh,
can.
you had to
So
use magic more in that fight, like fight from a
yeah.
distance, if I'm right.
So like it took me a while to figure that out when I was like, huh. Like I think maybe like half an hour in, I was like, huh, my magic's like, yeah, like I was like, is this
Half an
fight
hour?
just like yeah, like I was like, is this fight just designed to be difficult? Is it just designed to like make me do it for a while? So
Why was it half an hour? Why wasn't it like 5 minutes, 10 minutes at most? Half an hour?
yeah,
Before you were like, maybe I should try fighting from a distance. Maybe I should try using my magic or air.
no, I mean honestly, after half an hour, I looked up.
Still 10 minutes max. Why 30? You were
Anywho,
persistent.
yeah, I was like, I'm like, because I was like, there's no obvious reason why this thing shouldn't be taking damage from my physical attacks, so I'm just gonna keep at it.
Wow.
But like, once I figured out, or once I looked up that they're like, yeah, you should use magic on it. It took me like 15 minutes to kill.
Yeah, it doesn't take that long at all. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Anywho,
I like that section though. Well,
oh yeah,
I like
yeah, I love
I
that
like the
mission.
lead up, like when you're with Aerith going to the through the highway and stuff, and you have multiple instances where she's like high five, and he's just like, what?
Yeah, she's like,
Then one of the times he goes to do it, she wasn't ready. He's just like, oh wait, no, awkward,
yeah,
sorry.
yep.
And then like you finally beat Hell House, and then just like, yeah, bam.
Mm-hmm.
Just like,
Yeah.
I love that. I love that kind of like, that's a little thing that wasn't in the original at all. So like adding like something as small as that adds so much to Cloud's character and builds on Aerith's character in like
Yeah.
really neat, unique ways. Like I loved it so much.
Yeah. I don't know if I have much more to say about it unless you have any questions for me about it, but like I'm really loving this game.
It's such a good game. It's such a good game.
Mhm.
And that, I mean, you're not done with the tower fight yet, but like the build up going up that tower, so cool. Like it's crazy, it's hectic, but it's so good. Like the build up of climbing up. What? Oh, you're sad?
Yeah, but I don't want to say why in case
I know. I know why you're sad. I know why you're sad because of the homies. You're sad because of the homies. That's all you gotta say.
Second one more than the first.
Yeah, I know. I felt the same way. It hurt more for me because I played the original, so I knew what was gonna happen.
First ever Final Fantasy game, so I have no idea.
I knew what was gonna happen, and because this game has fleshed things out more, and because also HD, better visuals and everything, things just hit harder. Just like, oh man, yeah. The next, I don't know when. I'm going to tell you this, not a spoiler or anything. I think it is you're on chapter 12 or 13?
I'm on chapter 10.
10. Okay, so my bad. I'm mixing up numbers. I think chapter 13 is the last point at which you could travel between you travel through all the sectors freely. Okay. You'll know it when you get there. Because the story, like even when you get to the story mission, they say, hey, you're not going to have access to the stuff anymore past this point. So if you want to do any of the side quests at that point, that is the time to do it. And then there's another thing. I don't know, again, how much you'll play before we talk next time. But there's a choice you get sometime in chapter, I think, 15. Stairs or elevator. I don't know if choosing elevator, I don't know if you can go with the elevator. Choose stairs. Regardless, just choose stairs. I promise you it's worth it. It is 100% worth it. So good.
Well, I will keep that in mind. But yeah, I plan on playing more of this game this week. Like not that Wonderlands is on the back burner for me right now, but like I'm having so much fun with 7 Remake that I'm probably just gonna keep playing that.
7 Remake is also a better game. I can tell you that without having to play Wonderlands.
Yeah.
So you're doing yourself a service. And again, like I told you, if 7 Remake 2 gets announced this summer, you're gonna want to have this one done by then.
Yeah, exactly.
And also the Yuffie DLC too. Gotta play that as well.
Oh, one thing I also wanted to mention is like and if you haven't played 7 Remake, stop listening now, because like I can't talk about this without giving like a spoiler, I think maybe.
Okay. Is that to do with the end of the game or what?
No. It's something that happens between Cloud and Aerith when they're sitting on top of a frog.
Okay, they're on the frog. I know the scene you're talking about. I'm trying to remember the specifics of it, like what you could possibly be talking about for the spoiler.
See, I don't know if it's a spoiler, but it's something that
what does it have? Does she mention like someone else that like she knew that's like Cloud? She mentioned Zach.
No.
What did she say?
It was something to do with Sephiroth.
Oh, I thought she mentioned what specifically did she say?
She says that Sephiroth is the only man she's ever loved.
That is a lie. That's not what she's. Or
the first man that she ever loved, something like that.
No, she would not have said that about Sephiroth. She's talking about someone named Zach because she didn't say the person's name, right?
No, she didn't say the person. I assumed it was Sephiroth because.
Dear God, no, it's not. It is not in any way, shape, or form.
I'm sure she says.
She probably talks about Sephiroth in that scene, but no, she's not talking about Sephiroth as being the first person that she ever loved. Because it's been a while since I played the game, of course. But what she says in that scene that like Cloud reminds her of someone else that she knew before, and it was like the first person that she ever loved. She says something along those lines. Yes, no,
something like that. I think.
Yeah. She's talking about someone named Zach, not Sephiroth.
Okay.
We'll talk more about that when you finish the game.
Okay, sounds good.
That's not like a spoiler or anything, so don't worry, people. Like,
okay,
I would not classify that as a spoiler. Does it have more importance in the future of the seventh Final Fantasy VII story? Yeah, but not. It's I don't know if I'd say it's like a major spoiler, like
Fair enough.
what I just said or anything like that. So cool. I'm happy you're enjoying it. Looking forward to hearing more about it. I want to replay Seven Remake. I might do that after I finish one of these 3 games that I've been playing.
Yeah.
I might reinstall it and go through it because I've been itching to go back to it for some time. But that's going to do it for us here at the Play to Win podcast. Thank you all so very much for watching and or listening. Remember, check out our site, playtowingames.wordpress.com. Home for all of our content. It's a lovely site. It's a good looking site over there. Got some cool stuff there. So please go and check it out. Hit us up on Twitter and or Instagram. Just do both, actually. Not leave out the or.
Yeah.
Hit us up on Twitter and Instagram at Play to Win Game. We post stuff over there, updates on the show, promo the show over there. You could chat with us over there. Hit us up on those social media platforms, please and thank you. Also, YouTube. You're here watching us on YouTube. Subscribe to us since you're here. Hit the notification bell since you're here.
Yeah.
That way you know as soon as videos go live. Subscribe so that you can just easily, as soon as our videos go live, they're in your sub box. You don't have to go searching Play to Win Game. You don't have to go searching for anything. Just it's in your sub box. So subscribe. We love it. We love you all. Please do that. And if you're on podcast services, also subscribe. Give us those 5-star reviews because we think the show is a great show and we enjoy doing it. So, 5-star reviews and subscriptions help us out so very much. So please do all of those things. And yeah, also on YouTube, leave a comment. Let us know what you think about the Halo Infinite roadmap. Are you excited for it? Are you disappointed with it? And let us know also what you think about Dragonflight, the expansion. World of Warcraft fans, please get into the comments. Let us know. Are you really excited for this? Is this looking like it's going to be a great expansion for WoW? Is this something that the game needs? Is this a turning point? Let us know what you think down in the comment section below. Share the show with everybody, all that stuff. It's all greatly appreciated. So please and thank you. Keiran, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at badlynet, BADL. I don't know why I plugged my Instagram because I never use it, but BADLYNETL, one word, on, I'll say Twitter.
On Twitter. He also said Instagram, so follow him if you want to.
If you want.
Twitter's the main place, really.
Yep.
Follow me on Twitter at Tyler Miller 2496, where I talk about games and movies and anime and music and stuff. So give me a follow and talk with me about any or all of my interests over there. Thank you all so very much for watching and or listening. We will talk with you all next time. Have a great one.
See you later.